What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and we're back to talk about the 2021 African Cup of Nations that's held in 2022. But before we do, let's take a brief word from our sponsors, Manscaped. Cheers to 2022 and resolutions you can actually keep. How about upgrading your grooming routine for the new year? Our sponsors at Manscaped are here to make the ball drop into 2022 the cleanest ever. Set your first New Year's resolution with good intentions and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the code Dominic Rich for 20% off plus free shipping. I repeat, manscaped.com and use the code Dominic Rich for 20% off plus free shipping. Trust me, your balls would thank you. Manscaped are the best in below the waist men's grooming products, and the Lawnmower 4.0 would be a perfect gift for yourself or for a loved one to help make the new year a much better one. So, guys, without further ado, let's talk about the African Cup of Nations. So, if you do a quick Google search of the African Cup of Nations, right? Bam! You'll see that Senegal versus Zimbabwe kicks off in about 3.5 hours from my time. Then we got Guinea versus Malawi. And we also have a game between Morocco and Ghana today. And we got Comoros Gabon. A lot of games today, man. I won't be able to watch all the matches, especially the fact that 2 games will be played at the same time. And I can't watch 2 games at the same time on my current plan. But I'll find a way. I'll find a way to tune in. So we'll talk about these games briefly. But before we do, we actually have to do a brief review of the matches that were actually played already. On the opening day, the host Cameroon took on Burkina Faso, and Ethiopia took on Cape Verde in Group A. So let's take a look at these games and let's touch on them briefly. Note I said briefly, okay? So I did predict Cameroon to beat Burkina Faso 1-0. They did so. However, they had to come from behind. Gustavo Sangare in the 24th minute. I will touch on that goal a little bit, more. And then Vincent Abubakar, the former Porto man, scored a brace. He could have got a hat-trick or even 4 goals. And those goals came from the penalty spot as well. So, we take a quick look at the lineup for both teams here. Cameroon fielded a pretty strong lineup. I think Cameroon is a team we cannot take lightly in this tournament. Andre Onana looked very assured in goal. And you got to talk about the defenders, man. The defenders don't get enough credit. I'm just going to put this. Nohutolo, Ngaju. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's time to wake up, right? Ngaju Gadri, Onguin, and Collins Fye. These guys were big in the match. I got to give it to them. They defended valiantly. And the goal wasn't of their fault at all. I think they tried their best to prevent that goal. And it was the goalkeeper Onana's fault why, that goal ended up scoring. You got to blame the entire defense, whatever, you know what I mean? But Onana should have done a lot better, though. But the standout players on the day for me is Gamilo and Abubakar. These guys were very busy on the day. But you also got to give credit to Anguissa and PM Alan Kunde as well. I don't think Carl Toko Ikambi had the best game at all. So for Burkina Faso, Abdul Tapsoba looked very threatening at times. Sangare had a good game. Bertrand Traore at times, was okay, but he did, make the error for one of the goals. And Issa Kabore worked very hard. Dayo as well, but Yago, I think, picked up that early yellow card and, he was under a lot of pressure. I think Dayo was involved for that second goal as well. And Mr. Herve, Kofi in goal, saw more action for sure than Onana. So look, let's take a look at the notes quickly. Yago with the early yellow card, a rash tackle on Collins' fire. I think he was kind of fortunate not to get sent off for that, if I'm being for real. First minute, and I think that's the reason why the referee was probably a bit lenient. Bright start by the hosts, Cameroon. A few opening shots, but blasted wide. I think that's Cameroon's, only fault on the day. They had a lot of opportunities. 14 opportunities, 4 on target, 60% of the ball. A lot of the ball, and I think the game plan for Burkina Faso was to play without the ball, break on the counter, or take whatever openings they can get against the hosts, because they knew they was always going to be up against it. And they did pretty well, if you ask me. This could have been another result. But I always knew the hosts had it in them to get over the finish line, though. So, look, I did touch on the fact that Burkina Faso looked pretty good in the game, and they did score the opening goal. 24th minute after the ball was put out for a corner. The corner came in. Bertrand Traore's header was actually cleared off the line by the Cameroonian defender, and the second ball ended up hitting the crossbar, went over on the left side, and that cross in, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. I need to find out who crossed that ball in, because that was that was Bertrand Traore. That was brilliant. And Onana not being able to gather the ball, actually, jumped up and missed the ball. And Gustavo Sangare at the back post to put it in the back of the net for the opening goal. It was definitely against the run of play. And I think the hosts were kind of shocked. But they weren't shell-shocked to the point where they just dropped their heads and they just lost control of the game there, because up until that point, they were the one controlling the match. So, look, with the fact that they have to go, they went behind, they had to chase the game, and I think the approach was, pretty good. I think they had the right approach towards this whole game, because the goal came. 48th minute. The penalty came, but, the build-up there, VAR check Bertrand Traore and Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa in the box. That was a pretty rash tackle. And at first, the penalty wasn't given, but on the VAR check, it was deemed that Bertrand Traore had fouled Anguissa, and it was the right call. It was definitely the right call, and Abubakar stepped up and dispatched a very, very good penalty. I really loved his approach to the penalty, and a lot of players could learn from him, man. Coach Tony Conceição couldn't actually look at this. He was a nervous wreck on the day, but he ended up celebrating that opening goal. The game was actually played at a very, very high tempo. Very exciting match, I have to say. And very good stadium as well. I think this is a brand new stadium. And the outfield, the pitch is just exquisite. So you got to give it to the Cameroon National Board there, or let's say the Cameroon FA, I should say, for their great work here. Already looking like a very, very, very good host. So, look, 45th minute, a Burkina Faso player went down off the ball, and a yellow card was shown. And that was to Anguine. And I think he was lucky to get away with just a yellow for that one as well. Look, the second goal followed shortly after. Very, very shortly. I think it was a very well contested first half up until that point, 1-1. And another rash tackle was the undoing of this Burkina Faso team. Very, very rash tackle. After Cameroon had a lot of the ball, they were just, peppering their defense. They were in their final third for the most part. And another rash tackle by Dabo, who I think, was actually very, very lucky not to get a red card for this. He didn't even get a card for it, actually. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was very, very brainless on Nohu, who was trying to get either a shot or a cross in. Still did manage to get the cross in, and the cross was cleared. But the referee pointed to the spot immediately. And up stepped Abubakar to dispatch for the second goal, which proved to be the winning goal. So 2-1 at halftime, it did remain so, but there was a lot of chances in the second half for sure. 55th minute, big chance for Burkina Faso from a free kick. Bertrand Traore, the first ball was dealt with, and Odnana had to make a big save from close range for that second ball. So Burkina Faso started the second half very brightly, and they had an opportunity to equalize. Cameroon did get an opportunity to get the third on the break. Abubakar had his first shot saved, and the rebound was deflected in by Gamelu, but the flag raised, and on a VAR review, the offside was definitely upheld. Few changes were made by both teams around the 70th minute as they look to, Cameroon looked to manage the game a lot better, and Burkina Faso looked to come back in the match as well. 74th minute, Anguissa, he came very, very close to scoring a third Cameroonian goal, and it deflected out. I think he had a very, very solid game. And between the 70th and the 80th minute, the hosts had a very good period of play, and I have to say that was a very good response by them after going behind. And they had to see out the game for the last 20 minutes there, and so they did. Abubakar did have a couple more chances that he blasted wide. He could have got his hat trick. And it was nice to actually see Christian Bassagal come on the field, because he was actually part of that triumphant Cameroonian team from back in 2017. So, look. For Cameroon, they failed to score in open play, but they had many chances. They, I think, passed their biggest test in this group by getting over Burkina Faso, who could be a very, very, very tough nut to crack. They showed character by bouncing back after going behind. They had lots of the ball. They defended well for the most part. Onana was actually solid, with the exception of that goal he conceded. I think it was his error. For Burkina Faso, they played well in patches, but they were poor in terms of decision making in their defensive third, and that's what I think let them down on the day. For them, I think they also have played their toughest match in this group, as they would want to hope, and it should get easier this Thursday when they play Cape Verde. Should be a lot easier than the Cameroonian game. I'm not saying overall it's going to be easy, but it should be a lot easier. So for Cameroon, they take on Ethiopia on their next match, and that one should be a lot easier than the Burkina Faso game, right? So on the 13th, Thursday, January, we would see the Group A matches once again. So Cameroon 2, Burkina Faso 1. Great way for the hosts to start the tournament off. I think both teams would actually make it out their group. But for Cameroon, we got to keep an eye on the fact that they're one of the favorites to win it as hosts. So let's touch on the other game. Let me know your thoughts on this one. And let me move on to the next game, because I'm really strapped for time. I'm actually doing this just before I go to work, so I have to actually be brief because I want to talk about the matches coming up today as well. So this game, we won't spend super long on this one, but for Cape Verde, they won the game 1-0. You got to give it to Ethiopia after going down to 10 men early after Yared Baye-Bile was sent off in the 12th minute for denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity on Cape Verde, and they paid the price. So I think if they had 11 men throughout the game, it could have been a whole different situation, because they did put up a fight. Not a lot of opportunities in terms of clear-cut chances in the final third. They did get 7 shots off compared to 11 for Cape Verde. They had a lot of the ball. You see 43%. I don't think it was the most impressive performance by Cape Verde at all, but they did get over the finish line. I have to note that Roberto Lopez, you take a look at the lineup here. Roberto Lopez in the middle of the center back area there. He became the first Irishman to play in the African Cup of Nations. He's a 29-year-old defender. He was born in Ireland. So well done, Roberto Lopez. So the red card, as I mentioned, early setback for Ethiopia, down to 10 men with 80 minutes to go. It was always going to be tough for Gebri Michael and Gatana Kebede and his boys, who, you know, he's the captain. I don't think he was involved enough. He was taken off pretty early on in the match, and, you know, in the second half there, didn't really get to, you know, cast a spell on the game much. So, look, 27-minute big near post save by the Ethiopian goalkeeper was an almost own goal there. I think the goalkeeper was definitely solid. Shanko on the day was very, very, very solid. 36-minute Cape Verde on top. They tested the goalkeeper a few times. Still unable to break down a resilient Ethiopian defense. It was mostly one-way traffic in the first half up until the goal came. Julio Tavares, brilliant ball, crossed in from the left over in the right. Brought down by Gary Rodriguez to Julio Tavares for the tap in there. Pretty good goal. They were teasing and they were working themselves into getting that one, and they were rewarded. I think the goal came on merit, but overall they weren't as impressive as they should have been, in my opinion. They could have been better. They definitely could have been better. For this game, I think the second half was rather uneventful, and I think I just, you know, went through the motions watching the second half here. I even took a nap. It wasn't the most exciting second half, to be completely honest, but I have to definitely give credit to Ethiopia for only losing a goal to nil. I thought it would have been worse. I think I predicted a 3-1 win for Cape Verde. They won it by a goal to nil, and they could have done better. It could have been a more comfortable win than it was. And I think the Ethiopian manager, you could see him on the touchline, he was a bit annoyed of the way they went behind and the way they went down to 10 men as well. I think they could have done a lot better, and they could have earned themselves even a 0-0 draw. Look, you got to give respect to Ethiopia for at least making it to the tournament. I don't think they're going to compete too much in this group, and I think this would have been their easiest game, and this would have been their best chance to actually pick up 3 points, and it is going to be very, very tough when they come up against Cameroon, the host, this Thursday. So the tournament could be ending this Thursday because they might just lose that game again, and I don't think 3 points would be enough to get into the round of 16 as one of the best third-place teams, and breaking down a Burkina Faso team will be very, very difficult. So I think Ethiopia's best chance may have actually passed. For Cape Verde, though, positive, positive, positive. You look at the stats in the group right now. Cameroon on top, Cape Verde a second, Burkina Faso third, and Ethiopia fourth. The key for Cape Verde to move on to the next round is to get something against Burkina Faso. At least a draw would do it. I think 4 points would be good enough for a best third place finish if Burkina Faso manages to finish ahead of them, even on goal difference when they meet Ethiopia, right? So good stuff by Cape Verde. Bubista and his boys would be happy to pick up 3 points. That's a big, big, big 3 points. And they'll fancy their chances. Who knows? Who knows? They could even get something against Cameroon. You never, ever know. But I think the fact that Cameroon, you know, should beat Ethiopia, they should go on to top their group. So it's a scrap between second and third. It's a scrap for second and third between Cape Verde and Burkina Faso. So that's my thoughts on the first set of matches. Burkina Faso 1, Cameroon 2, and Ethiopia 0, Cape Verde 1. So what I'm going to do really quick, guys, really quick, I'm definitely strapped for time, is to just predict the games that's coming up today. So we have Senegal, Zimbabwe, Guinea, Malawi, Morocco, Ghana, and we have Comoros versus Gabon. All right, we're going to do this day-to-day basis. Later on, we'll talk about the Algeria, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Egypt, and Sudan, Guinea-Bissau match when we wrap up the matches that will be played today. Senegal versus Zimbabwe. On paper, this looks like a mismatch, but if you check the news section, you would see that there's a coronavirus outbreak in the Senegalese team right now. So Senegal hit by more COVID-19 cases ahead of Zimbabwe clash. Senegal's preparation ahead of their 2021 African Cup of Nations opening against Zimbabwe on Monday suffered yet another blow after 3 more players tested positive for COVID-19. Captain Kalidou Koulibaly, goalkeeper Edouard Mendy, and forward Famara Jeju will miss the game against the Warriors, the country's football federation said on Sunday. Koulibaly's club Napoli on Saturday issues a statement saying the defender, who is vaccinated and asymptomatic, was in self-isolation as per protocol, and federation on Sunday confirmed a positive test for Mendy and Jeju. Look, it's going to be a tough one. The trio joined 6 of their compatriots: Saliu, Sis, Bamba Dieng, Mame Baba Tiam, Pape Matar, Namplas Mendy, and Alfred Gomez, which mean they are left with their third choice keeper, right? Okay, so Senegal coach Aliou Cissé, who led the Lions of Teranga to second place in the last tournament in Egypt in 2019, however, refused to be put down by the situation, saying the side was going into the game against Zimbabwe full of confidence. Look, we know the Senegalese team is very, very talented, right? But I got to say this, man. I got to say this. It's going to be a challenge coming up against a full-strength Zimbabwe team with a depleted Senegalese team here. No Mendy, no Koulibaly, no, there's a lot of key players missing from that. A lot of key players missing from this lineup right here. And if you think it's not going to affect the Senegalese team, you're lying. It's going to affect the Senegalese team big time as well. Even their bench will be affected. The team will be affected. Zimbabwe would be rubbing their hands here going into this one. They would definitely be rubbing their hands. Could they get a draw from this one? This is a hard one to call because Senegal still do have some very good players available to them, right? You have Keita Balde, Sadio Mane. These guys weren't on the list. You have Abdou Diallo in defense. You have the third choice keeper. So they do have, I don't know the third choice keeper. I know, Gomez and Mendy. I don't know the third choice keeper. I'm going to keep it real. But Senegal should still be good. Idrissa Gueye, in midfield. They should still be able to compete. But guys, I'm gonna actually make a different call here. I think Zimbabwe is gonna get a draw from this one. I think they're gonna earn a draw. I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw here. See, they're gonna be a 1-1 draw, scoreless draw. Zimbabwe will get something from this game, in my humble opinion. I think this COVID outbreak will affect Senegal. It will. It will. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw for the opening match in Group B. Let me know your thoughts. I think it's a fair call, right? The next game, Guinea versus Malawi here. Look, I predicted Malawi to come in second in the group. So I think Malawi's going to get a result here. Malawi's going to get a result. I think Malawi's going to get a draw here. I'm going to go for another 1-1 draw in this game. And I'm leaning towards a Malawi win, which would be somewhat of an upset, though. Definitely would be somewhat of an upset. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw for the other game. I don't know a whole lot about this Malawi team. I'm not going to pretend I do, but they do have that element of surprise. Guinea do have the more quality players, but I've not been impressed with what I've seen from Guinea lately at all. We check the news, see if there's any updates here in terms of COVID-19 breakouts. There's nothing to talk about. You see Sports Mall have the preview here. Not going to get too deep into this one, but I'm going to go for a draw in each of the games coming up in Group B today. So just to briefly touch on the other games, Morocco versus Ghana. This is a huge one. This is a huge game. Any updates, any news updates that we got to know about? You see that 4 Morocco players test positive for COVID-19 ahead of Ghana match. This is going to affect them big time. For Ghana, I don't see anything in terms of any COVID outbreak in their team. Milovan Rayevac and his team would be ready to go here. And I think they would be fancying their chances ahead of this big clash versus Morocco. So this one is a hard one to call, actually. This is a very, very, very difficult one to call if I'm being 100% real here. This one is hard to call. This one is very, very hard to call. Morocco versus Ghana here. I did predict Morocco to finish ahead of Ghana in the group, but this one is a marquee affair, and this one would be a tough one to call. So look, Vahid Halilhodzic versus Milovan Rayevac. 2 quality managers, if you ask me. I'm just looking up a quick head-to-head for both teams here. So we have Morocco versus Ghana here. Head-to-head. 5 wins for Morocco, 3 draws, and 3 wins for Ghana. The last time they met in 2021 international friendly, where Morocco wanted a 0-0. In the previous games, Ghana actually won them, and it was a draw, and Morocco with a win at the World Cup in 1997. That was, World Cup qualifiers. So Ghana do have a good record versus Morocco. I think the fact that Morocco, they are depleted. The Ayew brothers, Wakaso, and Co would be actually rubbing their hands going into this game. This one, I don't want to predict another draw. I really don't want to, but I'm going to have to. I know it sounds boring. This one's going to be another 1-1 draw in my opinion. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. It's very difficult to gauge this one because the fact that I would have fancied a Morocco win, but they're depleted, and I think Ghana is a solid looking outfit right now, and they'll get something from the game. So I'm going to go for another 1-1 draw. The match between Comoros and Gabon coming up there in that group as well, Group C. I think Comoros is going to beat Gabon. I'm going to make the call right now. Any news updates right now on the teams? Look, Comoros set for explosive debut against Aubameyang less Gabon. There will be no Aubameyang in this game. Okay? Let's read the quick, news update here. Let's just take a look at this. Comoros will be making history on Monday as they take the pitch for the first ever time at the African Cup of Nations when they lock horns with Gabon in Group C. Gabon, on the other hand, are making their 8th appearance at the Continental Tournament and will be looking to progress into the knockout stages for the first time since 2012. All right, so look, Gabon will be without Aubameyang. Okay? That's what we know right now. And I think that's a big miss. I think Gabon without Aubameyang might be very, very toothless. And Ben Nabuane and Co would be actually rubbing their hands going into this one and fancy a chance of actually picking up all 3 points. Gabon, I think they're going to lose the match. Comoros 2, Gabon 1, in my opinion. And that's me just doing a brief prediction, a preview of the games coming up in Group B and Group C. I could be more long-winded, but I'm strapped for time. I actually got to head on out for work. I might actually be late for work today, though. So Senegal, Zimbabwe, Guinea, Malawi, I think it's all going to end in a draw. Morocco, Ghana, a draw. But I'm going to make the call and say Comoros pick up a victory. The first ever in the African Cup of Nations as they are debutants against the Gabonese international team. Tomorrow we got Algeria versus Sierra Leone, Nigeria versus Egypt in a marquee affair, and Sudan versus Guinea-Bissau. So, guys, I'm your boy, Dominic Rich. Thanks for tuning in to another one. This is my thoughts on the first set of games in the African Cup of Nations, and a quick prediction for the upcoming matches. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. I like to take the time to thank Manscaped for being a part of this channel as well, and will be with us all throughout January. Don't forget to head on over to manscaped.com. Use the coupon code Dominic Rich to get yourself 20% off each and every one of your orders. Trust me, your balls would thank you. All the links would be in the description box down below as well, guys. So just click it, head on over to the website, check it out, and treat yourself to something nice. So from your boy Dom, until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace.